Alright, we're going to be working with the OPTECS software now for data entry. I'm going to show you two different versions real quick before we do anything else. When you first I do one thing. When you first get the download, you'll only have one option when you're on a laptop to play with it. When you're in the field, you'll be using a production version. On your laptop, you'll be using a test version. So the files you'll see when you download are ifqadmin, production, and ifqdev. You will not get production on your laptop, but you will see that on here. So when you're actually using the software for real, or if we're telling you to do something even as a test to the production database, you always want to use the production software. The test software will look different. I'm going to click into the observer folder within that, and then you're going to launch the program titled observer. Now if you notice, it's pink screen this time. It says test mode, and this is going to load up to our testing database ifqadmin. This is what the test mode will look like. The production mode will look a little bit different, just to make sure that you know for sure that you're entering data or not into the live database. This is production. Very clearly gray, has a WCGOP logo on it, and says production database. So moving forward, you will always use this for actual data entry if you're using a tablet and working in the field. Otherwise, on your laptop that is standard issue, you'll be just using the test version. I'm going to go in here on the real version to do some testing for you, just so you can see how to use the software. So once you've launched this, you've gone into the folder for the current software, and you've launched production. This comes up. Normally your username will not be here the first time. Let me see if I can. Okay. So the first thing you want to do, period, is sync the database. You click sync database and follow that with perform sync. Now, I've already done this, but there are 14 updates, which are usually just people's passwords. You enter your username. Your username must exist, or here's a good example. Oh, interesting. In order to log in, your username must match the current database. I'm going to pause this while I enter my password. So I've entered my password. All I'm going to do is click OK. And then I'm going to select the program. In this case, I'm going to let me do limited entry this time. You can only use Trawl. Fixed Gear is not available yet, so please don't try to use it. I don't know. You can still highlight it. It won't work, so please don't use it. Then log in. So you're brought into the beginning screen. If you have never started a trip, or you don't have any current trips that you're working on, this is what it'll look like. Most things will be black, brown, grayed out. Grayed out items are either not available yet or are not complete. All these forms, species interaction, species identification, trip discards, priority species report, and backup are currently not functioning just yet. So first thing you do is start a Trawl trip. For testing, since this is I'm going to be putting this into the production database, I'm going to use a very specific vessel, the Espresso, which has not been active for a long time. If you notice, it fills out your state registration automatically. This fishery, we're going to use limited entry trawl. I was going to do a shrimp trip, but apparently I don't have access to shrimp. There's only one skipper. The skippers associated with the vessel are there. If you don't have a skipper to select, you'll have to leave it blank and then contact Neil when you get back. So you would add a comment. If you didn't know the skipper's name, you say skipper is Ben Glib, not in database. And now, next time I bring up my comment, you'll see that I've got my name and that I was at the start. These will later be parsed out a little bit better, but right now, you'll be able to see all your comments or notes as you go. Number of crew, logbook number. So basically, you're just filling stuff out. If you do this when you leave, and this particular page anyway, you can simply hit OK, and it will be the correct time. If not, this is a nice little scroll bar, scrolls very nicely. With the flick, I just flick it and it goes. You can use your hand, you can use the stylus. I'm going to say we left at 3 a.m. and I'm also going to say we left yesterday, and we left out of Newport. Alright, and that's it. Move forward. Now, I only had to have the vessel name, so if, let's say you were late, you didn't get this started until after you were about to go out on deck, you must enter a vessel name in order to enter any data. The rest of the data can be left until later, but you must pick a vessel before you can move forward. It is required. Hauls page, you notice you've got a home, you can go back home. You can add a haul, you can go to logbook mode, you can delete a haul, and you can make a comment. So obviously you're going to add a haul. And this is designed to collect all the information that you have to get right away in bold. It's expected that you should know this as soon as either before or as the load is being dumped on the deck. So you will fill that out. Now the light gray, the stuff that is not highlighted, doesn't have to be filled out. We're defaulting to 14, defaulting to no EFP. There was no BRD present. I'm going to say it was a type 1. You know the gear performance, and you know the Beaufort scale. Gear performance, all these tabs, when you click them, there's a little explanation right there, so you don't have to look up the code if you don't want to deal with that. If you know the codes, you're perfect, but just click it. And of course, if you have an other, then you would instantly add a comment. I'm not going to, so I'm going to say the gear was great. And you do not need to add locations at this time. I'm going to make stuff up. And you must enter either 11.00 or 11.05, or it'll give you an error. If I enter, you have to prove that you read it, so, and it has to be correct. We only have two options. You can leave it blank, so if you were having problems with the scale, you would leave your fit and your weight calibration blank, of course. From there, you go on to catch, and then you begin your sampling. You decide what you're going to do. Let's say you're doing some halibut first. If on the full list, you can either, we turned off double click. You highlight what you need and you add it. You'll immediately be taken over to the descriptions that you're going to need to add, the details. So it was discarded. The reason the weight method we're going to use is, 9 length weight. It's pure, and the reason is 16. And since these are halibut, you obviously jump straight to biospecimens. 7, outside and random. You have to choose a biosample method before you can enter something else. From there on, now you're going to add an entry, and then if you notice, you've got a new line, and length was highlighted. You do your lengths. You'll be taken straight over to viability, and then once you've entered viability, you can just add a new line. And keep going. each time I'm pressing add entry. So I'm entering a length and a viability very quickly. You must hit OK on the number, but if you notice here, my viability didn't take for some reason. I must have hit add entry. If in that case, go back to the record, I need to hit modify record, and now it'll take it. So I either didn't click it or I hit add entry before I finished that. If you need to jump back to your length and you change the length, you just click these two while you're on the record. So let's say this one I accidentally put 36 and it was supposed to be 46. So jump over here and change it to 46. Notice this time it didn't jump over to viability. It was still dead, so I didn't need to change that. And if you notice here, the weights that are automatically calculated for you, you get your total weight, your average weight, and the extrapolator weights here. When I go back to catch categories, everything is filled out for me. So it's all going to upload properly. That's all you need to do. You're done with halibut unless they find some more. So let's go out of ZMIS. And this is weight method 1, sample method 1, and we're going to say it's mixed. Now you have what we've come up with as a frequent list. Frequent list is the top, I think it was 20 or 30 species that are associated with trawls. So you can either come to here if this is where you see most things when you start. We also have a trip list, and I don't know why halibut did. Oh, because I haven't added species in. We're at the species level now, so we haven't used any species. So I can either select and add one species at a time, or I can select several species at a time and add them all. So if you look down, depending on how you want to work, you can either add one species and then do your weights and counts and weights, or you can add them all and then make sure you select the proper one and do your counts and weights. So I'm going to start with long-nosed skates since it's already highlighted. Now if nothing is highlighted, which I don't think is a possibility, whichever one is highlighted, if you notice on the top there, it's changing. Trying to get this out of the way here. It's changing name based on which one I click. That way you know for sure as you go forward that that is where you are. You're on long-nosed skates. It's right there on the top. You know you're weighing long-nosed skates. So you need to click a discard reason first. Standard discard reason is 13. And then you put your basket on the scale and you take your weights. And if it's close to the weight, we will ask you about it because we expect your weights to be around 80 pounds. That's what about a basket holds, but occasionally you can get something in there that's higher. In this case, I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to say there were 2 fish. Now let's say that basket weight, I thought the basket weighed 150 pounds. I can still do that, but let's try 151. Now, I can't do a 151 pound basket because, especially using this weight method, because our scales are incapable of weighing 151 pounds. So you can never get an actual weight on this, and the computer knows that, so it's not going to allow it. There is no way to get over this, get around this. You would have to enter 2 weights, so obviously you weren't using the scale if you were trying to enter that much. So most of your weight should be under 88 pounds in here. Now if you notice, my total basket weight is being calculated, my average fish weight is being calculated, and my total fish count is being calculated. Now let's say I was going to do some baskets that were just weights and not enter counts. I'm going to say no count. The extrapolated count is 2. because the average weight of the fish is being used to extrapolate your counts. So you can, that will be calculated for you, and this is required a biospecimen, so let's actually jump back there. And then when you come back, your sample weight and count will be filled out based on all your math done for you. You weighed 4 baskets, but you only counted 2. So you are required to do biospecimens. Right now, in biospecimen selection, the software is telling you to sample anything that is on any of the biosample lists. You will still need to choose your biosample list and rotate through them and then pay attention to them. Later on, we will add the feature so that you will be able to put in which biosampling list, or it will automatically select the biosampling list for you. And if you're prompted to do that, then it would be the random selection based on that list. Right now, you choose your list, you follow it. So if this was on the list at the time, then you would do it. If not, you would ignore it. I'm going to go ahead and do it so you can see how. Similar to halibut, same thing. In this case, inside of random, you have to hit a biosample method before you can do anything. I don't think I can unclick it. No, I'll try to show you what I have. And since all I'm taking is length and sex, first thing that's highlighted is total length. So I know I need a total length. Click OK, and then I'm going to say it was a female. Then I add an entry, and it was a male. I didn't click it. There we go. That's why I wasn't clicking. It should highlight black with white center when you've selected it. So if you're done with lengths, then you just jump back to species and start weighing your next, whichever basket you have next. So that's an error since I didn't hit my discard reason. And let's say there were 20 of them. That may be all my arrow tooth. There is a protocol for fork length there. So let's go over here and weigh and do our 5 lengths. Got to hit add entry each time. No, Eric is recording. Yeah, we're going to pause this for a moment. Okay, so sorry I interrupted. Let's see. I'm entering my 2 more lengths. Alright, now there are no frequencies, so at this point you don't take very many lengths that it is. You will have to enter each one. We are considering a feature where you can click one and create a tally, which would just replicate the record. At this point though, you have to enter each length. So if all your fish were 45 centimeters, all 5 lengths would be 45 centimeters. You do have to enter it each and every time. So future project coming, our future improvement. So now if, let's say suddenly they found another halibut, you can jump straight halibut to biospecimens, and I believe this will give, I'm going to try to do this. There's no sample method selected, so it should give me an error. Actually, it won't even let me, yeah, it won't let me do anything. So select a biosample method. Oh, and biosample method is wrong. Oh, that's way too big. Let's say it's 45. That's way too small. Okay. So they found that other halibut. I quickly went and put it in. Jump back to Zemus. Species. And I'm on my brown cat sharks. There's no protocol for that. If you use protocol as a dash. So, anemones. Now, you shouldn't be able to enter 1.02. Obviously, because your scale weighs in 0.05 increments, but that's no big deal. No biospecimens on that. Deep sea sole. I do that a lot, so you'll probably see that a lot. No protocol here. So we're done with that. Go to our next catch category. So that was a weight method of 1. Now, obviously, you wouldn't normally have too many different weight methods, but let's say there's a sleeper shark in here. Oops, not a seeper shark, a sleeper shark. Pacific sleeper shark. So if you notice, I typed SL, and I was still able to find it because it does search the entire word. So let's see. I'm going to weight method 2. You can't use. You're not going to use weight method 3 for this. You wouldn't use OTC retained, and you would probably use visual experience. Correct. So sample method. It's still a whole haul, or actually in this case, no species comp. It's pure. Discard reason is still market, and then you just go over here and put in the catch weight. So you estimate it's a 560 pound, and there's one of them. That's it. There's no OK button here. Don't really like that. Makes me feel like I didn't finish. There it is. Weight method 14, visual estimate, no species comp. Halibut, also no species comp. Let's see. So now, just gonna found these guys. Now, if there's a form to do on these, you obviously wouldn't be able to do it. Actually, you know what? Let's see. What is it? No. Actually, let's not do this. Let's see if I can delete this. Categories. Oh yeah, remove. Just click remove. How does it contain a species comp entry? That's interesting. We'll just say no species comp then. Let's see if I can remove it now. Yes, it was probably because, yeah. So you can, if you don't enter something underneath it, you can remove it. Once there's lower level data, you cannot delete something. Period. So if you have something that you added that you didn't mean to for some reason, and you took weights under it, it's got to stay, and you'll have to change it later. We have no mechanism for making corrections like you put in Aurora rockfish, but really it was split nose. All right, so let's do a second Zemus, and we will use a weight method 3. So this is where you take some of the, there are several people have different ways that they like to do this. We're going to use a multiple basket method, and we're going to say it's mixed. These baskets weights that come next, you must weigh all baskets, even if you're going to speciate them. That's the difference than used to be. You would add in the weights of your speciated baskets secondarily to get your total weight, to get your total sample weight. Now you must weigh all the baskets, even if you're going to speciate them. The species weights will not be included in the sample. That was the easiest way to make this particular method work. So most of your all your baskets but one should be very close in weight. So let's start with weight, and you simply enter your weights of your baskets. And if I'm going to throw, let's say I've determined I'm going to take, I've got 50 baskets or whatever, I'm going to take every 5th one, starting at the first one. So now I've weighed 1, and then I'm going to tally 4 more. So there's a tally of 4, which is the total of baskets of 5 so far. And then I'm going to toss 4 more. I'm up to 15 baskets. I'm only going to go to 20. We'll say it's 20. So there's 20 full baskets. I've weighed 4. One of these is probably the sample. Now let's say I have a partial basket here at the end. Now I can type in the amount, and if I hit partial basket before I hit OK, then it'll be marked already. You want to mark your partial basket. If you notice here, it's been thrown into the partial. If I don't mark it as a partial basket, it puts it in the total, and so my average weight calculation is going to go way down, 69.36. So if I say it's a partial basket, and I mark it. All right, now one of these or two of these you've saved for speciation, and you're going to take species weights on them. You go to species, you can get rid of the rest, but you got to keep those. Now you add the species that you had in that basket, or in those baskets, and you start weighing them. These are not going to be added to your catch category weights. If you look here, the ZMIS for the weight method 3, the total weight is already calculated. There are no counts associated with the weight method 3, but you still need a species comp for further analysis. So long side sporting heads, 13, however many baskets you did. So and I'm not going to do the biospecimens. Let's say they aren't on my list. Maybe mine always is, but maybe it's not. I don't know. So we're not doing them. I know they wouldn't be throwing away lingcod, but nevertheless, they're throwing away lingcod. This is more about seeing how to do weight method 3. Okay, so all those required biospecimens, which might mean they show up in the order. Now, my catch weight did not change at all, but I must have lower level data for analysis for later. Technically, the sum of this sample weight should equal however many, the sum of the two baskets or one basket that you selected for speciation. That may be something debriefers look at in the future, so that when you look at this weight method 3 basket data, they may take and say, you know, well, the weights over here doesn't add up to any of these. What happened? So make sure you sample correctly. You have to weigh everything, and your speciated baskets are part of this over here. So slight change to weight method 3. Some of you may already be doing that, some of you may not. All right, let's look at another one. Let's see. Let's add a Pacific Angel Shark category. All right, so we had 3, 5 OTC retain, estimate, extrapolation. Or if this works. Yeah, so extrapolation, these boxes shouldn't be here. If you use weight method 8, you'll go over here and so let's say your tally, this is where you would tally some of them, I guess. So you weigh 13, and you tally 4 or 5, and you add it to the sample. You got another basket, and you're done. So total count extrapolate is 10. Get your average fish weight. You come back to your species. Your sample weight is calculated for you. Extrapolated weight is 224. Let's see, is that right? Yes. Okay, so pretty much double. Yep. So that's weight method 8. Basically, you know, tallying fish that you don't weigh. And let's see here. Let's do another ZMIS. And this time we will do a visual spatial, another fairly common one, multiple basket, and pure. So you're going to select a quarter, fifth, whatever amount you're going to do. If you do a speed button, you're going to sample half of it, let's say half of it. If you're going to do an eighth, you can do an eighth. And this will automatically calculate your weights after the fact. Now it's just the same as anything else. If we look at our trip list, it's now populated. I can choose some. Let's say that was 16. They want some biospecimen links. I don't know about you, but a fish as small as, whoops. No, that should throw an error later. Let's leave it in there and just see what happens. It won't throw an error here, but it's going to throw an error when you put it up. Might throw an error when we do our own check here. Okay, so I finished that. Now if you jump back to the catch category, I've got an extrapolate weight of 1,032. Actual weight is 129 pounds. So, and we said that we were doing, why is edit details not working? There we go. We're going to do 1/8, so it multiplied everything times 8 automatically for us. Came up with 1,032 pounds. So all that will go up appropriately. So let's look at some of the more complicated biospecimens that you might run into. So let's try green sturgeon. You add that. Obviously discarded, whole haul, pure. Species, you take your weight, 16 regulation, it weighs 36.25 pounds. It's one of them. Go on to biospecimens, and if you look at the protocol, it's going to guide you through it. Inside a random, fork length, weight, viability, pet tag, existing tag, fin clip, spine. I forgot what the last two things are. So you just get started and you take your length. Let's see, it's 120. Your weight you already had, so you could remember it or keep it on the scale, which I forgot what it was. 36.25. Okay, and it's not dead, so you're only supposed to take the sex if it's dead. So you would put undetermined or non-applicable. If it was dead, and I don't think we checked for this yet, then you obviously should have a sex. So we're going to say it was a good condition. There was an existing tag on it, so we're going to add an existing tag. And it said tag Hatme 12. You're going to put your observer tag on it, the pit tag. Let's say you're installing pit tags. I don't know how those are numbered, so I'm just going to say there's one. So now you've got the existing tag that you found, you added an observer tag. You're going to take a little fin clip. You can scan the, oh no, you can't scan the barcode yet, sorry, we haven't activated barcode scanning, so you will have to enter it. They are linked to the correct number of digits. FinRay, I think you only take that if it's dead, but let's just assume that you take it regardless. And you're done. We currently are not taking pictures with this yet. Eventually we will be taking pictures. So if you look at all the information, you know, your summaries are still the same, but all your records, all your details are there on this page. Alright. So that's pretty much how to enter just about anything. You can move very quickly back and forth. The key is when you're wherever you are to look at the top line. So there's, I'm in Azimuth from Hall 1, long spine thorny heads. Now I'm on dark blotch all the way over. If I come back, if I found another halibut, I could jump over here. Alright. So I'm done with that haul. At the end of the day, you usually, let's assume you got more than one haul per day. Even if you didn't, you could do this. At the end of the day, you would go to logbook mode, go up to the logbook, and get your information for the hauls. So you can show all the hauls or the current haul only, so that you make sure you don't enter date any problem. You can also show days hauls, but I only have one day here, so that's all I'm going to see. Date and time for haul is automatic. You do not have to enter it. Until you, well, you do actually, because they're determined by right here. But as far as data entry goes, you have no dates to enter at that time. So let's say this happened today at 4 a.m. Oops, don't hit cancel. Okay, so, and then for latitude, longitude, you can simply just start typing. So, and it's degrees, minutes, and seconds, decimal degrees. So if you did record it in, if they have it in another fashion, you will have to calibrate it. So there's the first one, and then, or the down, and here's the up. Let's say, and if you notice, it retained the last time I put in and the last date. So let's just say it was a 4-hour tow, and you can slide this around if you need to. Now, let's see. Vessel is going to retain, so usually you're going to copy your retained values right out of here. Now, if you notice, it carried over the stuff you entered at the haul. This, you don't have to re-enter this at all. And then now you're going to start doing your retained, vessel retained. A raw rockfish, and I just keep hitting them. Oops. And I am just making stuff up, so. If I was entering retained in the catch, say, over here I was actually weighing that myself, so it was an observer estimate. OTC retained. There shouldn't be a discard reason. Oh, that's my fault. That's my fault. I didn't say retained. There we go. Actual weight and retained. Sorry, I haven't observed in a while. Count. So now, if you notice, it says disposition retained. Everything should be good. 3 really big yellow eye. I do want. I don't know if you do biospecimens or not. I'll pretend you did. Do. So now I've got a retained. If you notice, all the retained I enter there, I entered on the logbook mode are there, 7s. And if I go back to logbook mode, you'll also see that my yellow eye is there. So now let's say I tried to put in a yellow eye, it's already used, catch category was entered by you. So you can't enter it twice. Remember, observer data trumps vessel data. So if you took an actual weight, that trumps the vessel. Comments occurs on every level throughout, and they're just accumulative. So any comment you make, right now it does not include, it doesn't record the specific page. So what you might want to do, if you're making a comment at a level, let's say you were making a comment down here at biospecimen level for some reason, you'd want to say biospecimens of raw rockfish and then what your note was about. Just add that, a little bit of more information. Later on we will collect where you are, but let me see. I don't believe we do. Yeah, it just knows I'm at biospecimens, but it doesn't know what biospecimens I'm at. So we will add some more detail to that, but right now you're going to want to add detail when you add comments. Alright, so let's say I'm done. I've got my locations in, and we have a little thing, I don't know why the locations aren't really showing here yet, but if we go into end trip, we'll come back. You can also run error reports before that, of course. You open error reports, click yes. There is a delay here. There's no progress bar until this delay goes away. I'm not quite sure why that is. Okay, now there will be a progress bar. I should get some errors because I haven't finished the trip yet. Because I've left all that blank, those should come up as errors. I suggest running this after every haul, just to make sure you didn't leave any information blank. So there we go, we definitely have one. That specimen length for dark blotch was way too big. I probably meant to hit 12 because they were really tiny dark blotch, so I would probably want to go and edit that one. This is also probably on me, catch number 6. I probably put something pure with multiple species. All the end trip stuff is not there. Let's see, catch weight, yeah, it does not equal species comp weight. I'm not sure what this one is. I've never done a weight method 8, so. This is a bug on our part because I first hit what I hit. Let's see. We already, the sum of the species weights. Oh, I've got that as a single basket sample. That should be a multiple basket sample. And these two probably have to do with retained issues. So let us look first at the dark blotch. So now I know I need to fix that. Unfortunately, we aren't yet taking you straight into there. Let's see, where was dark blotch? Not there. was. So let's jump down to biospecimens, and I'm going to click, I guess I got to click 9 first. Modify entry, and I'm going to go, oh yeah, that was supposed to be 12. And then okay, now it's 12. Alright, so one of the other things was, oops, let's see, details. I said this was a pure and it needs to be mixed because there's multiple species. So that was obviously wrong. Let's see. That one's right. And let's see, there's one more Zemus. Got a little bit of delay here. Simple with the whole haul. Alright, so let's go run, actually let's do ntrip real quick so we get some of these. Obviously you're not going to have a fish ticket yet. So let's go back over here and do an error report again. See if some of these go away. Okay, dark blotch went away. This gear set time is on us. I've got something right there. Missing a fish ticket. Okay. Obviously you haven't put fish tickets in, and you can put those in after upload, so no big deal. Catch weight method 8 does not equal species comp weight. So I'll take a look at that. Let's see. This is to do with yellow eye. I'm pretty sure this is something that is a leftover. That's not something to worry about. It's because I clicked it and then went forward and then went back. Let's see, single basket sample. So that basically means the basket is more than 100. So let's take a look at that. These two are both the same thing. So let's go look at those real quick. So the fifth one, I'm not sure what the fifth one is. So I think it starts in the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see if it's angel shark. Most likely, yeah, it's weight method 8. We need to edit the details on that. Yeah. If I just change that to multiple basket, I believe that will fix everything. Let's see here. Okay, one of them went away. I think this is our problem here because that is an extrapolated weight value. So they shouldn't match completely. Not sure what that's checking for. That's, oh wait, that's catch number 5. Okay, so that might be, I have to look at that one. Okay, yeah, so this is 11. So this one right here has to do with this discarded, it has to do with the fact that I clicked discarded instead of retained at first, and then went forward. So it created a blank record. So this is a child record that's not getting deleted. That's something we'll have to look at. Okay, I don't know why that's also ours. You probably wouldn't do a biospecimen on the retained. Maybe you would, I don't know. Yeah, so it was only supposed to be taken for discard, so if if you were supposed to do this, obviously you would ignore that. This is not missing, so I don't know why it thinks it's missing. Tag is not 15 digits. Dissection is 8. This is a recapture. Origin mean to select dissection type. Tagged by observer. I think that's because I entered both tags, existing tag, and then 9. So I'll have to take a look at that, make sure we've got those right. So most of these are on us. There was, let's see. The only thing else I might want to check is 8. I just want to make sure I've got a discard reason on that one, and maybe I'll look at 11. I think 11's all us, so. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So retained rockfish, Aurora. I'm not sure why there's an issue here. So I said, okay, so there shouldn't be a species comp, but there is because I took data. So if I had done it properly, there wouldn't be these links here. So this one's all on me. Let's add a fish ticket and make something go away. Let's run an error report. I created another one. Fish ticket is not 7 digits long. Obviously you won't have that problem. Not sure what's wrong with that. I don't know why it thinks there's a discard reason there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. There isn't a discard reason here, so it might be a bug of ours. You're not, wait method 8 isn't used very often. I don't know. Alright. So at this point, I would consider it done. Now, fish processed during trip doesn't seem to stick. So when you're done and you're ready to upload, you're going to click End Trip. Now, End Trip inside End Trip. This one's ready to sync. So I'm going to click Perform Sync. Oh, do I have to select it? No, I think it's okay. And it's completed. Now, unfortunately, there really isn't anything showing you that that is syncing, so it can be a little tricky. You got your trip ID. Now if you go into the database, you'll see that this trip is there. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. And you need to use Internet Explorer. I actually don't know what our database. Let's see, I have to get the database address. because I do not know it. I want to sync the board because I'm going to do this easy way for myself. No, actually, I don't need to do it on the tablet. We'll do it on here. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to come in as a limited entry read only. Hopefully I have some access here. Take a look at my trips. Look for me. There I am. It's uploaded just fine. Oh, that's right. I only have view access, unfortunately. So I'm not going to be able to see the errors. You can see all the information is here. Everything's gone over. Uh-oh, SQL error. That's kind of cool. Oh well. Everything should be where it belongs. Oh, I forgot to show you how to do the other halibut type. And nothing will be in link frequencies. All your lengths will always be in specimens. Even if they do not have a sex, they do not end up in linked frequencies with the way we do things. Oh, okay. So you can see everything is here. I can't run a check because I don't have the right role, I don't think. Let me see here. Let me try my other role. Yep. I'm pretty sure Cat Share will not show me the trip. Yeah, so I can't really show you what the error report would look like because I don't have limited entry access as an observer. Alright. That's essentially it. One thing I didn't show you was how to enter a halibut. Let's take a look at that real quick. So I'm going to go back into we'll move this somewhere better for actual sampling purposes. All right. Okay, and since the trip has been finished, it's no longer available to you. So to show you this last thing, I will have to, I'll show you how you don't have to enter too much. And once I've filled out enough information, obviously there's no trip list again. Okay, so let's look at this weigh method 19 for halibut. In this case, you have the option to also tally some of them. So as you add a record and you do your viabilities, if you were tallying some, you would just click the tally button. You know, make sure you hit add entry though each time, otherwise, and that's the only difference. Alright. And if I exit it out without filling anything else, there's no problem. It shouldn't be retaining your password this. So make sure you lock your tablet when you're done. And that's it.